Gonzo, it's been a week, but it's the first show that we've done ever that James Collins is not a West Ham United player.
Well, it seems like longer than that. I think it's just the official departure, isn't it? But he truthfully departed long ago. Hopefully, he's got his feet up on a sunny beach somewhere. Lots of sun cream, lots of Factor 50. What with him being fair skinned and all, and enjoying himself. Hopefully.
Last time I spoke to you, you were Mr. Not England fan. Are you now a Mr. England fan? Have you got the World Cup fever?
No, I've got England fever, but not too bad. I'm not saying it's coming home. I don't think it is coming home. I think we're coming home before the end. But I have enjoyed it. I've not watched many of the other games, so I think last time we spoke, I had seen the 3-3 with Portugal and Spain, which is a really good game. The only other game I've seen in its entirety since then was Argentina-France, which was another cracker. I watched all of that. I got some players. France got some players. And then I watched I watched most of the second half of Japan-Belgium, which again was another really entertaining humdinger. So, but I've watched all the England games, and yeah, it's been... It was tense, man. It was tense watching that penalty shootout. That was how was it for you, a Scotsman watching that? Well, tell us what you were thinking. Were you planning nasty stuff for England? What was going on?
You're trying to get me in trouble already. The views on this video is going to drop. I was I celebrated Colombia's equaliser as you'd expect, but I don't begrudge England the victory, if that makes sense. It doesn't bother me if England win. It's a bit like, all I would say for West Ham fans, it's a bit like you watching Spurs in the Champions League. If they win, it tends not to bother you really. It's whatever. It's Spurs. But if they go out, you sort of go, hey, Spurs are out. Well, that's what I kind of do with England at the World Cup. But at the end of the day, I cheered Croatia beating Denmark on penalties the previous night. It doesn't mean I hate Denmark, does it? So...
Well, I hope not. I hope not. Bearing in mind, the biggest admin on our forum is Danish Hammer, who we probably owe all the app upgrades to and everything like that. So, yeah, you should hopefully like Denmark. What did you think that they were impartial? Did you think they were dirty?
Yeah. I thought they were cheats. Yeah, but to be fair, I thought you would have went through an extra time, so the outcome wasn't a surprise to me, and I think you'll beat Sweden on Saturday as well. However, I think you'll come unstuck in the semi-final if you come across Croatia, because I actually think they're going to go on and win it, to be honest. Bold prediction, but to be fair, I made this prediction prior to this. I got 16-1 on Croatia, so I'm rooting for Croatia, hence why I cheered for them on Sunday against Denmark.
Well, that makes sense, mate. You've got to go where the money goes, certainly.
I think you've impressed me. England have impressed me thus far in the World Cup, and I thought in the first half against Colombia, I thought you were the much better team. You were just lacking something in the final third to give Harry Kane a chance. But I do thought the only worry I would have if I was an England fan is your centre midfield. I think Henderson's fine, but I think Lingard and Dele Alli are a bit weak defensively. And Colombia just weren't clever enough, if you like, to try and exploit that. They kept going wide, where I think you're actually quite strong with Trippier. And I think Young's okay. He's not fantastic, but he's solid defensively and he's difficult to get past. And I think Colombia went about it wrong. And that's why I think if you come across Croatia with Modric and Rakitic in the middle and Perisic and that coming in from the sides, I think your middle might struggle a little bit. But I still consider a semi-final for England to be a success for this World Cup. And I'm almost worried that it's coming home, so to speak.
No, well, I spoke about the midfield when you asked the first time. I said that's where I felt England were dysfunctional historically, and not just now. I thought yesterday's game was actually crying out for a Shelby or somebody like that, or Wilshere. I think we're lacking two players. I think we're lacking a deep playmaker. I did a video last night. I said like a Carrick type, and then someone a bit further forward to unlock the door. It's almost wide or nothing with England. Whether that's enough to get through, I totally agree. Though, I mean, particularly when you mentioned the Croatian midfield, which is obviously going to be technical with those players. We love to give Pogba a load of stick in this country, but you look at actually him as part of that midfield with him spraying the ball around like he does with Kante. They're real specialists at what they do, and they look so dangerous. I think there's a lot of midfields that could cause England a lot of trouble, certainly.
But anyway, talk from it's coming home to it's staying at home. Have you seen the statue is not leaving Upton Park?
I saw a headline. Yeah, I know nothing else about it.
It's not had as much publicity as I thought. I've been away for the weekend, seeing this great man in Finsbury Park. So I was away at the weekend. sort of switched off from West Ham, if you like. So I've been catching up with it today, and I've seen that the statue is staying at Upton Park. And more interestingly, though, by the way, do you think that's the right thing or not?
I don't mind. I honestly don't mind. That's our spiritual home. I think you've got to leave Summit of West Ham there. The stadium's gone, hasn't it? I just my main concern was obviously so much has changed around that area. Was that the local community wouldn't want it there? Is it going to be more loved in Stratford? I think Stratford needs some identity, but Stratford ain't traditional West Ham. I think a bit of Summit needs to stay there. There's no reason why they can't commission another statue for Stratford. Crikey, the amount of money are washing the Premier League now. So I think leave it there and just build a replica. As long as they don't get the geezer that did the Cristiano Ronaldo statue or the Michael Jackson one that was outside Fulham. Whoever sculpted them, we don't want him, but get a good sculptor in and do a second one.
I'm delighted it's staying. I wonder if we're not allowed a second one. I wonder if the deal with the London Stadium is that specific statue. So I do wonder if they say, oh, we'll make another one. They go, well, no, that's not the deal. The deal is that specific statue. You haven't got it, so you're not getting a statue anymore. That big, massive thing is just going to stay empty for now. I'm glad it's staying. It needs to stay there. It's connected to Upton Park. It's not connected to London Stadium. And to be honest, if you do well in the World Cup, I'd like to think people are going to go there to celebrate. Because at the end of the day, it is the last World Cup winner statue, isn't it? It's not, while it is West Ham, it's also England at the same time. But you wouldn't have seen this then. Karen Brady wrote a letter. Now, we're going to see the full letter soon because it's under the Freedom of Information Act. So I can guarantee you there's people requesting it like this already, thinking, I want to see exactly what Karen wrote. But Karen wrote what has been described as a strong-worded letter at the last minute, if you like, to try and say, well, hang on, you can't do this. But the bits that we have been given, I will quote it because it's in the new recorder. To quote it, Karen said, "We have made promises to our supporters that the statue would sit outside our new home. Your decision to keep the statue at Barking Road will result in what will be perceived as a broken promise. You should consider this as a risk in the context of events at the London Stadium in March this year."
Oh, that sounds like a threat, doesn't it?
That's what I thought. She's literally using us to threaten the council. Saying,
fair enough. There's a lot of us. To be fair, there's a lot of us. I signed up to a betting company the other day, and I was meant to get £30 in free bets if I could get 57,000 fans to rally behind me. I'll probably use it as well. That sounds threatening. It's a bit weird as well, but I think she's probably pooping it because they've made so many other broken promises that are probably a little bit more significant than that broken promise. The irony is, I do actually think that broken promise, the fans would understand why it's staying, and also would understand that a third party, as in Newham Council, have made that decision. So I can't see us rioting over that. Certainly not.
I'd also think maybe even more than half the West Ham fans are actually happy it's staying there. Yeah. I think there's quite a lot of people happy with this decision, although it wasn't the club's one. Like myself, I'm actually glad it's staying there. So while yes, it is a broken promise, it doesn't really annoy me as such because I'm glad it's remaining. But what does annoy me is the way she speaks to the council and she uses us as like a threat. Going, have you seen what happened? I had to burn the game. This is what's going to happen if we don't get that statue. Well, no, it's not. The Burnley game didn't happen because of a statue or something. The Burnley game happened because of you and your perceived broken promises, as you put it. So stop promising stuff if you can't deliver it. It's as simple as that. It's not that difficult, is it?
They might send the last couple of hipsters that ran on the pitch, that Jesus-looking one and the other one, send them over. That's terrifying. It's a terrifying thought.
But anyway, transfers. It was about it's what 5 weeks tomorrow. The window shuts, so that's 36 days until the window closes. It's come out tonight that apparently the Felipe Anderson deal, Gonzo, is finally off.
Is it really?
Well, it's off for now. It's probably going to be back on in a couple of days, but for now, it's off.
Oh, I don't care. I just don't care anymore. I think I've said everything there is to say on Felipe Anderson. So I will literally be repeating myself. Is it off? What whatever. Don't care. Never seen him play. He would have to have been absolutely brilliant for 40 million. So that's fine. If we've got that money, we're going to spend it on somebody else. Probably another player I haven't seen or heard of.
There's a third summer window now, though, that David Sullivan has failed to land the manager's #1 target. At the end of the day, no fans will say it's too expensive, but that's what it is on paper. That's Pellegrini's #1 target. We've not been able to go get him. it's just it's a bit too much deja vu for my liking. To people when we did the questions for this, some people said, "Oh, is it like the Barca deal?" But some people were like, "Is it like the Barca deal again? Is it like the William Cavallo deal again? Is it like that?" The worrying thing is, there's so many deals you can compare it to in the past. It's like it's no longer this deal, that deal. It's just that David Sullivan didn't manage to sign the main thing. Now I know they're going to say Lazio is difficult to deal with, but we dealt with them 12 months ago. We know how to deal with them. We didn't sign the player, Keita Balde, but we'd have had negotiations at some stage and got a feeling for what they are like to deal with. So the person they're negotiating, the club they're negotiating with, aren't a new club to deal with.
No, they're not. But I also don't know why. I'd have played a bit dirty here, I've got to say. I don't, if they are difficult to deal with, they haven't played him. He is not a regular starter in every game for them, as I understand it. And I've only found that out since we've been linked with him, basically. Now, apparently, they bought another winger, but the winger they really want is a guy called Gelson Martins, who's from Sporting Lisbon, same club as Carvalho. Now, he seems to tick all the same boxes as well. He seems to be a similar type player. I don't know why we just didn't go to Sporting Lisbon and make a bid for him. Very, very good player, apparently. Very up-and-coming player. And just actually play a little bit nasty ourselves. And if it didn't work out, then we end up with another fast, wide player who's very tricky and very technically gifted. I think there's a lot of things that probably could have been done differently. But I as I say, I do maintain, I do wonder why we went in so hard and so deep, and it's such a big fee for somebody that I know you gave your opinion last week on it, but for somebody that no one else seemed to be chasing and somebody that wasn't really a first choice in their team. So I think their bluff needed to be called. I think if we don't buy him, they ain't selling him, and then they won't be able to buy that other winger.
Well, to be fair, you called it 2 weeks ago when I asked if you thought we'd buy him. You said no, so it looks like you're right on this one thus far. But one player, again, coming out tonight, Daily Mail done an article, and to be fair, it came out in Turkey first, actually. Jack Wilshere was heavily linked to go to Fenerbahce, and actually Fenerbahce fans were saying it's off, he's going to West Ham. And then the betting odds went from about 2, 3, 4 to 1, all the way down to 1 to 7 within a couple of hours. And there's Daily Mail now running a story saying that actually Jack Wilshere's held talks with Pellegrini himself, and he could be now on the way to London Stadium.
Well, that would be wonderful news. I didn't know that either. So, yeah, absolutely great. Well, everyone knows my opinions on that. If we could pull that one off, then I'd be absolutely delighted. You know, we're playing Pellegrini's style, West Ham. Kid is a West Ham fan. I'm sure his parents would be thrilled to a West Ham season ticket holders. So, what's not to like? Really good, and then we use that fee elsewhere, as I say.
Yeah, you're getting on his day when he's fit and he's on his day. You're getting a £30 million player for free. Really, it's. We just said this last week, and we kept saying no brainer, and there's no better way of describing it. Really, it is just that, a simple no brainer. But we'll wait and see if this one has legs to the story. But it came out in Turkey first, which is interesting, where apparently he's got quite a lucrative contract on the table, and ours is slightly less. 80 grand a week we're offering him, supposedly, which is less than what he's getting offered over there. But then he's got to balance up the Premier League and family life or the money. Which one do you want? And it'll be a good statement of intent from Jack if he does take the lesser pound note on offer, if you like. He says, actually, I'm willing to sacrifice that tens of thousands so I can go play football at Premier League, go play for West Ham, go stay in London. And it'll be a big signing to get in, that one. But as you said earlier, Fernandes, Sporting Lisbon, we were linked with him. Apparently, we put a £20 million bid in for him. Had you ever heard of him?
Yes.
Cavallo's a teammate?
Yes. I was absolutely delighted this week because we go through this show and I say, no, never heard of him, never heard of him, never heard of him, never heard of him. And this week, we've had two who I've heard of. Now, the other one was Kovacic. Is that his name? Yeah. Used to play for Inter Milan. Rafa Benitez signed him for Real Madrid. Very, very good player. Plays for Croatia. Excellent player, by the way. There'd be nothing wrong with him if we could get him. I just don't believe it. So the rumour is with Bruno Fernandes is that it's a £20 million bid. I can't see that we would get him for that. For people, if people like Mario, this guy's better than Mario. This is it's a very, very good player. Unfortunately, I think he's not played that many minutes in the World Cup. I think he featured in a couple of matches as a substitute, but he's the next young thing. I think coming out of I think they signed him from Sampdoria. I think he went to Udinese and then to Sampdoria, but I think Sporting Lisbon bought him for £8 million. So to get him for 20, well, I think he's actually had a sensational little bit of time there as well. Scored some really good goals. I think it was a strange one. I think he's a 30, 40 million pound player. 20 million is surprising.
I think to put the fee into context, I think he's one of these players with a contract dispute, and I think it's perceived that rather than the player just rip up his contract and you have to go through all this court proceedings, it's easier for everybody. We just get him for cheaper, if you like. It saves Sporting Lisbon having to do the court thing. It saves us having to do the court thing. It saves him having to try and rip up his contract. Because there's a similar thing. Again, it's come out. Rumors are coming out tonight. It's convenient that there's no World Cup game on tonight, isn't there? And all these rumors come pinging out. You'd think that there's no football match. Journalists are going, bugger, we need something to write about. We're going to fill the columns. But I know, let's just make up some transfer rumors. Coming out tonight, William Cavallo might be actually way to Real Betis in Spain for 20 million euro as well, because again, it's just easier for them to pay Sporting Lisbon 20 million and get them cheap than have to deal with all this legal obligations and stuff. And that's why Fernandez 20 million's fee, while it might be perceived as low, it is low.
Sounds like the 99p shop, every for a pound. Not the 99p shop, obviously, but that's the one. You want to go to the 99p shop, not the pound shop, if you're good at saving money. But they're obviously just getting rid of everyone for 20 million euros or whatever it is, sort of bring and buy sale. This guy's a no-brainer. He really is. He's not quite as quick as Lanzini, but he's a fantastic attacking midfielder. Number 10, flair, flamboyant. You would imagine Pellegrini would really like him. I'm sure Pellegrini would try and deploy him in the same way that he deployed David Silva. What would happen when Lanzini came back is another matter. I'd like to think that the manager is attacking as Pellegrini and find space for two, and this guy can play a little bit deeper as well.
You know, the way Pellegrini uses attacking midfielders, they're not wingers, are they? He doesn't have two wingers. They're encouraged to come inside. And Lanzini played that left wing role occasionally for West Ham a good few times, and we've seen Payet out there under Village. You can play a really good number 10 out on the wing, if you like, and give him the license to come in field. So it's a good option to have. I'll tell you what, I'd rather this Fernandez deal than this Anderson one for half the price as well. It just makes so much sense. That's why I've been saying to you, I don't think we can afford to spend 40 million on one player. I think we're better off. We're not at that level yet. We're at the level where we should be spending 20 million on two players rather than 40 on one. This one makes sense. And like you said, the other one we were linked with today was, earlier in the week was Kovacic, or how he says his name, the Real Madrid Croatian midfielder. Now this has got to be just journalists making up rumours. He's going home a World Cup winner in 2018. He's not going to be coming to West Ham.
Yeah, listen, I can't argue with you too much. I'm just looking at my my bet now. I got what did I get? To win outright Croatia. I got 10-1. I got that on the 15th of July. So yeah, clearly I had a little fancy from you. Obviously fancied him before I did, so you got better odds, or your bookmakers better than mine. He's brilliant. He's absolutely fantastic. Underused by Real Madrid, but that's no shame in not being able to get into that Real Madrid team at all. It's some fantastic players. We've all seen Isco play. What's his name? Asensio. Whatever. You know, the young kid looks absolutely dynamite. They've got a lot of good players there, and of course Modric, who's been fantastic, and Cruz. There's no shame in not getting into that Real Madrid midfield, but he's a player, a flair player, be a hero at West Ham. He really would.
He dislocated his arm against his shoulder. He dislocated his shoulder against Switzerland. They popped it back in and put him back on. Salah dislocated his shoulder. He was out for about a month. He couldn't even play in the first game in the World Cup. That's a difference in attitude right there for you. I know it's different. Everyone's injury is different. But yeah, he dislocated during the game. They just back on, get back on the pitch, son. We've got a game to win here. We're going to get through. Have you seen any other transfer talk in or out that you want to discuss? I've been off the grid a little bit. I mean, Bernard. He's off to China.
Yeah,
had a lucrative deal. I think we pretty much discussed him. I think when we came off the thing, the link to him in China was up. I don't know if it shows out of date already. Don't worry about it. But he's still not gone. There is still some saying that he's got offers from China as well as us. So he's debating it. I mean, could you get him in Wiltshire for free? And like, that would be a bit unusual, surely. To spend like 30 million and getting that 5 players that we would have is just a bit too good to be true.
Well, it would be exciting to watch. I hope we are going to be exciting to watch. I hope that does happen. I mean, what you said about the 20 million, if it did actually happen and we spent that 40 million on 2 other players, it ended up in the transfer window that we'd actually bought 3 players worth 20 million. And then, say, Fredericks and Wilshere on frees, for instance, I would hold my hands up and say, well, fair play, fair play. But there's still a long way to go at the moment. We've bought someone for 20 million, signed a goalkeeper, a journeyman goalkeeper, and a right back. So on a free. So it's still got some work to do. But if they did do that, 3 £20 million players and some frees plus the goalkeeper, I would say that is a job well done. What you might have missed is there was some, if you've been away watching Boyzone again, you might have missed that Hugo. There's been a lot of rumours Hugo leaving on loan to QPR, but then they've had a couple of training sessions in Switzerland. Pellegrini's been getting a look at the players, and after the second training session, there was a little bit more of a rumour that Hugo was going, even though apparently he'd scored in training. So I don't know. That looks like it may well happen.
It's got to. I think we're all resigned that Hugo is not going to be in the West Ham team next season. I'll be surprised if he is, but if he is here, it's because no one wants him rather than we want rid of him. Unfortunately, it sounds really harsh, but just the way I see it. But that's all the transfer rumours I've seen. It's gone a bit quiet. Are you worried yet? I mean, there's some people have asked this at the end of the show. I'll try and skip them, but basically, we've signed 3 players, but the main target looks like it's off. There's a long way to go, but it's a month in reality. Are you worried, or are you still quite calm? Or
well, I'm more worried than I was last week, and you'd be silly if you weren't, because as you say, last week there was 5 weeks left. Now there's 4. So I would expect a deal. This is not any in the know stuff, by the way. You're watching the wrong show. But I would expect a deal to be done within the next week, surely.
No, tell you what did concern me, actually, that Pellegrini and Sullivan's meeting got postponed and then practically got cancelled or something by the sounds of it. That's not a good start. Like, surely when your manager's coming in, it's got to be the #1 priority. We'll sit down, we'll discuss the transfer targets and stuff, and then everything's coming out now. David Sullivan's off on his holidays. I mean, how a chairman can take a holiday during the transfer windows, he's got to take a holiday at some point, I'm aware, but to do it when the transfers are happening is a bit strange to me. I've always found it a bit weird that he can be off in Spain with his feet up when there's his new managers here. But what do we know? Pre-season started in Switzerland, as you said. The first friendly is on Sunday. Will you be trying to tune in?
If we can, if there's a way to do such a thing, I would certainly be very interested.
That Premier Sports TV thing usually has our friendlies. They had them all last year, didn't they?
They did.
Hopefully they'll have it. Is there anyone you're looking forward to seeing on Sunday?
Well, the new centre back, certainly. Hopefully he will play. Fredericks, I mean the new players. I'm not so bothered about a goalkeeper because hopefully I don't want to see the goalkeeper because hopefully he doesn't have any saves to make. So the goalkeeper's there in a position, if necessary, he can do a Jordan Pickford, but hopefully we don't see him. So yeah, I'd like to see the new boys and also a chance for the youngsters to impress. And Nathan Holland in particular, I think it's a real big time for him. Apparently, they've all been playing 1-touch, 2-touch, and I think it's a chance for him to go out and express himself, particularly if the manager's feeling that he can't quite get the players that he wants. If what the manager's feeling, he wants quick, wide players who are technically gifted. I'm not saying Nathan forces his way into the first team, but he may well give him something to think about. I think, hold on, I might have this boy on the bench. And also, I'm looking forward to seeing Declan as well. But I'm more looking forward to the manager seeing Declan. So I hope he's going to do well and he's going to impress. And it might give us a little insight, even though Reed is injured. If he lines up with, if let's say lines up with Diop and Ogbonna as the two centre backs, and Rice in midfield, that will be quite telling. If for whatever reason Ogbonna is not deemed to be quite fit and Ogbonna starts on the bench and Rice is next to him, I think that just might be a little indicator which will give us something else to talk about and think about.
It's Reece Oxford I'm looking forward to seeing. I'm really hoping he stays with us next season, and I hope we see what we all thought we might see one day at West Ham, even when he's been 15, 16 years old. He's had this huge pressure on his shoulders. And I think he's had unfair pressure sometimes. I think we've all been expecting him to walk into the first team and start playing like Rio Ferdinand did or something. And it's a lot to ask of someone. And I hope now that Rice is here and he's got things are a little bit more calmer. I think the expectations of Oxford have lowered a little bit. I just hope that he can come in and thrive under those conditions, thrive under a ball-playing manager in charge. All you have to do is look at England, actually. What difference it makes having a manager in the dugout that will encourage your centre-backs to pass the ball about. You can see John Stones is one of the best centre-backs of the World Cup for that precise reason. Now, if you still had Sam Allardyce, he would mean getting encouraged to launch that forward as soon as he got it. But to finally have a ball-playing manager is exactly why I want to see Reece Oxford in pre-season. I hope he stays here, but time will tell. Are you ready for some questions?
Yes, please. Yes.
We'll start with Twitter. At Irons says, I am intrigued as to why fans now appear to be more happy with the board when we have only signed 3 average players. 1 on a free. Surely it is the club who leak these exciting transfer rumours to the press. Is this their desperate attempt to get fans on side?
No, I don't think so. I don't think the fans have made it. I just think there's a World Cup going on. I think if you listen to, well, clearly he does if he's watching the show, listen to what I said earlier, which is it's job half done. I think everybody's probably thinking the same. We finish this window with 1 centre-back, a right-back from the Championship and a goalkeeper just got relegated. The fans will be on the back of the owners. I don't think people are saying, what a fantastic job. I just think, well, look, Geo's been, away at the Liam Gallagher concert this weekend, and I've been doing stuff, and the summer's a time normally where there would be a lot of focus on the transfer window, but the World Cup's been, I think it would be fair to say, a huge success. So I think that's given the board a little bit of breathing space, but they've got to use that time wisely. If nobody's on their backs, they've got to bring the players in. I did actually think last night, first part of extra time yesterday. Oh, England were terrible. And at that point, they only looked like 1 winner, Colombia. And at that point, I thought, actually, I don't want it to be over. Not just because of England, but because I'm not watching the whole World Cup, I'm only really keeping my interest because of England. I didn't want the World Cup to be over for me, and just to get back solely to the West Ham grind, if you like, of, analysing the owners and all the rest of it. So I was really glad for that. If the World Cup finishes, though, which was my main point, and those players haven't been delivered, I think then we're going to have issues. And what you're suggesting has happened, which is the fans mellowing, I think you'll see that it really hasn't.
Yeah, I think, sorry, I'm just doing the questions. I think the World Cup has actually given Sullivan a massive break here. People are concentrating on England, and I think if England had gone out against Colombia, I think, like you said, all attention would have turned to West Ham. People would have been a bit angry and stuff. And then this Felipe Anderson stuff would have come out tonight. And I think everybody would have probably got a bit pissed off about that. Going, oh, Sullivan, it's you again, blah, blah. How no wonder the deal's not getting done when you're not even in the country. You're over in Spain on your summer holidays and stuff, blah, blah, blah. So I think he is actually... Sullivan should be hoping England stay in the World Cup for as long as possible because he's managing it. I get what he's saying, though, because... like I said earlier, it's deja vu. We signed 4 fantastic players early in the transfer window last summer, but there's still a month to go, and there's still quite a lot of work to do. I remember someone on Twitter said earlier this week, look at the squad we're taking to Switzerland. Now, Arnautovic isn't in it because he had the internationals at the end of the season, so he's got this extended break. So, but then when you do think about it, you've got no Arnautovic, no Hernandez, no Lanzini, no Chiatti, no Fabianski. But then when you do look at the team that's left, you do look at it and think, oh, actually, yeah, it is a bit light. It's a bit potential relegation battle. Now, I'm aware that we're missing our best players from this pool of players. But his point remains, that is our squad that Pellegrini's got to go ahead and work with initially. And he's probably going to be looking at it and thinking, Jesus, this is going to need a lot of work if we're to push on forward. Our next question is from Jimbo Norwood. Jamie says, who would your 6 penalty takers be if we were ever in a penalty shootout? Probably a 3rd round League Cup tie versus Accrington Stanley.
Oh, crikey.
6. He's obviously expecting to go to sudden death. Someone's ballsing it up.
Oh, crikey, Jamie. I've not done my research. I didn't look at the Twitter questions earlier. What, for West Ham? Or is he talking West Ham or England?
Yeah, he's talking about West Ham.
Plus guy, Jamie, by the way. But he stitched me up here. Have you made it up? Have you? I bet you've got something scribbled down, haven't you? Come on.
No, well, Noble, Lanzini, Creswell,
Hernandez.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd put Hernandez, to be honest with you.
Arnautovic.
Yeah, because he took some over in Germany.
Rice, because he's got the testicular fortitude.
It's probably Zabaleta as well, actually. I would trust him to step up and take. But Creswell would be my top 3.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Sorry, Jamie, bit of a cop-out, but I'll use what Geo said plus the ones I added.
If he's on the pitch, Adrian, he's got 1 out of 1 so far. He's doing all right and get him up the other end for it. Well, here's the question. Is Anderson becoming another backer? Do you think we should give up on Anderson? Ash_sales, Ashley says, who's Gonzo's favourite Gonzo porn star?
Oh, me, of course, me.
The Mirror.
In my younger days, you know what I mean? Don't like to post about it.
I've got 2. One's the Mirror, the other one's my wife. Either one.
I used to, oh no, actually there is a very good. Do you know they do those porn star names? You know, I can't think of any now. Actually, you know, because you know there's like films like Shaving Ryan's Privates and stuff like that, which are sort of comedy ones.
I'll tell you what. I once got an email from David Gold's PA or whatever her job title is, and she obviously comes under Ann Summers or something. But at the bottom it says, "My bunny name is Jugs Bunny."
The person who sent the email, not Sullivan. Sullivan's name's not there.
It's Gold. It's got nothing to do with Sullivan.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is David Gold's PA. It says, "My rabbit name is Jugs Bunny."
Well, fantastic.
I should have come with a witty one and put it at the bottom of my email. And my rabbit name is
yeah, oily bummer pole shaft. Fantastic. Manchester United substitute. Yeah, there you go.
At Gary Wibberley says, who would you change from the England starting 11 for the Sweden game?
Yeah, would have done this anyway. Great, fantastic question. So we get rid of Dele Alli and we bring in Loftus-Cheek. It's a real shame. I'd probably ditch Lingard as well, but I don't think we've got that much option to. There's no one to come in, which shows a bit of unbalanced squad. But I would take Sterling out and probably put Rashford in. So Rashford, Loftus-Cheek.
Dele Alli. To be fair, if it's me speaking, Geo speaking, I would play the 11 that played against Belgium, please, to be honest with you. Phil Jones, Gary Cahill, get them in, thank you. But if I was wanting England to win, I would swap Ali and I'd probably put in Loftus-Cheek or someone a bit more defensively that's not Eric Dyer. I wouldn't drop Lingard. I honestly think he's one of your best players. Like, Kane and Trippier is your best player at the World Cup thus far. I think Kane's up there, but I think Lingard's probably, him and Stones and Maguire, you're probably your 3 next in line for the best player of your tournament so far. I really, really like Lingard. I don't think he gets enough praise or recognition for some reason. I just don't. I think he's brilliant. Sterling, though, it's frustrating because he does a lot of work off the ball, which creates space for other players. It's hard to explain, but you'll be fine on Saturday. You'll be fine. Josh Wilkie 93 says, "Is a Jaffa cake a biscuit or a cake?"
It's got to be a biscuit, Josh. I mean, it's not a cake. I put it this way: if it was happy birthday to you and your loved ones walked in with a candle sticking out of a Jaffa cake, you'd be saying, "Well, hold on a minute, that's no cake." But if you go around someone's house and they said, "Would you like some tea and biscuits?" and they put out a plate of Jaffa cakes, you wouldn't be disappointed. It's a biscuit. It ain't a cake.
Interesting. I don't know. I eat them. I find it hard to. It's got sponge in it.
Yeah, they're a bit soft. They're not nice. Footballers eat them apparently. They give instant energy and all the rest of it. Ronaldo eats a lot of them. The other one, Brazilian. I'll
just go with the cop out and say they're in the biscuit aisle, ain't they?
They are. There you go.
At AJL_89, Aaron says, "What's your favourite starburst?"
What?
Your starburst. What's your favourite one?
What flavouring law does that mean?
The sweetie. Mine's the purple one. The colours of the wrappers.
I don't understand.
Okay, you're quite old here. It's opal fruits to you.
Oh, opal fruits. Oh they changed the name, didn't they? You know, Snickers used to be a marathon. M&M's used to be treats. Well, something similar to them. Orange one. Or you don't want the green ones, do you? Green ones are disgusting. Any green sweet. The Haribo green. It's no greens. Why do people do green sweets? I don't know. Strawberry opal fruits. Like, not you lot. Not good night, you lot. My daughter.
Purple for me. Ash Miles WHUFC. Ashley says, when England bring football home, should I get hashtag it's coming home tattooed on my arse?
We know Ashley. Hello, Ashley. Never, ever, ever get anything tattooed on your arse, Ash. Always go for the dinkle, my friends. Football's coming home. I've got supercalifragilisticexpialidocious tattooed on mine.
I bet you do. It must be in very small font. I think he should do it now. He's stuck to that. If England win it, I'm expecting him to go ahead and do this. It's now on here. That's Curtin Hammer Daz says, rate our transfer window out of 10 so far.
5. Yeah.
I'll say a 4. It was about a 6, but it's gone down now in the last week or so. Well, the last 2 weeks, just because nothing's happened really. A couple more on Twitter. It's at National Insurance West Ham fan on Twitter says, what do you make of us defensively? We rave about Masuaku, Creswell, Rijsselbon and Zabaleta, but conceded the most goals in the league. Surely it can't all be down to the midfield. Are we letting our hearts rule our heads with our back five? A reasonably interesting question. There's definitely a statistical reason behind that.
Yeah. Listen, is our head ruling our hearts ruling our heads? Sorry, I'm not sure who our best left back is. I think there's an argument to be made about our best centre back pairing. Let's also say that Moyes was playing a back three, and one of those back three was a full back in Cresswell. Anyway, I think there's cause for suggesting Zabaleta could be found out on the right. Geo always like to point it out in previews during the season whenever we were about to face a fast winger and how they would target him. I can't see the defence being a lot better as a unit, so you've got to hope that the new guy, Diop, makes the sum of its parts better. Diop's a good player. He's going to be getting better. Rice is going to be getting better. All I hope is actually that our attacking play is we're going to outscore whatever we concede. I actually think we have some good players individually. Bonner's a good player. I said Rice, the new guy. I think we've got take your pick out the two left backs. Probably start Cresswell there myself, as I said before. And then I really think the big decisions right back. How good will we be? It remains to be seen.
I think they are good. I think it's not just the midfield. The centre midfield is a massive problem. It was the way the manager both managers, it was the way they both set us up. Zabaleta got zero protection, regardless. It was a case of, you're 33 and very experienced, you'll cope. Yeah, you can probably work stuff out, but it doesn't mean he's going to get faster just because he's 30. He can work out that he's up against fast winger. It doesn't mean he's suddenly going to be keeping up with them. If anything, all it means is he's going to be dropping 10 yards back, which is going to drag the whole team back 10 yards. And I think that was the major problem last year's season. We couldn't retain possession well enough. We couldn't get out of our own half. When we had the ball, it almost went straight back at the opposition. We were under the cosh a lot. We conceded the third most shots in the Premier League last season and the third most shots on target last season. There's a correlation right there for you to have. If so many people, if you're going to allow so many shots, they're going to go in eventually. There's only so much your keeper can do. But I think Pellegrini's got a good defence to work with. It needs improvement. It needs protection. But if you do that, I think we'll be fine. I think a more defensively astute manager, maybe Sean Dyche, for example. Sean Dyche could have worked wonders with that defence last season. Mm. He would have had clean sheet after clean sheet after clean sheet against a lot of teams. We wouldn't have conceded many under Sean Dyche. That's where I'm going to leave it there. Last question on Twitter is from Nick the Hammer at HBDC10. Rumours are that an ex-player has been offered back. Lots of ridiculous Payet suggestions, but I'd like to know on the Ravel and Tompkins rumours. Wouldn't mind either of them back. What's your opinions on them?
I think I've given my opinion on Morrison so many times. I think there's a fantastic player in there. So many, so gifted. But if you watched Harry Kane yesterday, Harry Kane doesn't really go past people. Harry Kane, in many respects, apart from his finishing, is a 7 out of 10 but for everything, maybe even a 6 out of 10 for pace. Maybe his heading is better. But let's say his heading and his finishing, he's a 9 out of 10. But what he's got up there is just sorted. He is calm, composed. He's a leader. His football management is excellent. He's brilliant. I'm a converted Harry Kane fan since I've started watching England. It's Morrison has got. You would say his technique is a 10. He's passing to 10. He's fast. He can shoot. He's right foot, left foot. He's got all those attributes, but what Harry Kane's got upstairs, he just doesn't have. And if someone could just tap into that and get him to play, it'd be fantastic. He really would. There's still a player there, but if I thought Pellegrini could do it, I would have him back in a heartbeat. But I just wonder if it's gone. It's too late for him, which I'm sorry to say, at 26 or whatever he might be. That should never happen to anyone. Tompkins, I like Tompkins. Good guy in the dressing room as well, apparently. But do we need to bring him back? I think it might. It's the last thing that Declan Rice needs. And Gio mentioned Reece Oxford earlier as well. I think maybe not on that one.
Yeah, I agree. Ravel, no, I don't get it. We look at him with rose-tinted glasses on all the time. Players have done less than Morrison off the pitch and got hounded for it at West Ham. But it seems to be with Morrison, it's a case of, he was young, let's forget about it. But yeah, the same people are also telling Reece Oxford to F off to Germany because he's a money-grabbing so-and-so. But yet Ravel's chucking acid in his girlfriend's face, refusing to turn up for West Ham games. But it's fine because he was only 19 at the time. Don't worry about it, mate. Back you come. It just doesn't make sense. Don't touch him. Tompkins, he's been brilliant for Crystal Palace. He was superb under Hodgson. But the thing is, he's one of those players I look at and think, amazing if you're in a relegation battle, type of defender you want. But if you want to get away from a relegation battle, type of a defender you need to sell because he's got his limited ability. But when you're down the bottom, he will graft and he will fight. But the problem is, you want to get away from that, don't you? You want to get to slightly better ability players who can do more than throw their body in front of shots and stuff. And so, no, I wouldn't take either of them back either. Now, moving on to the YouTube questions on the live chat. And thank you to people that sent them in. I've tried to jot them down. I missed a few. Feel free to keep putting them down and we'll get to them. GB says, if you sold Carroll and Antonio, then you had to sign two £30 million players, not necessarily to replace them, because this is the trick. Which two positions would you buy?
Oh, that's a good question.
I think you're just trying to lessen your squad depth a bit and test you, see if you go for a striker or not.
I just wonder how much Carroll is going to be used anyway. I don't think he's going to be used very much. So are we missing a striker? If we lose him, I guess you've got to sort the squad out. But I'm a big fan of, particularly bearing in mind you're not in European competition. If we say Hernandez and/or Arnautovic can play there, I don't think there's anything wrong with having a young player. Then, if both of them are down, then a young player comes in. I think that you've got to leave a path open for them, So, and I know he plays a little bit deeper, Marcus Brown, but Gio likes Marcus Brown. If need be, he could play up there. I'm not sure if Martinez is going to make it, but so I'm not necessarily would I do that. I probably would still go for. I'll probably go for central. Presuming we have done that other business we expect to, I'd probably go for central defensive midfield and an attacking midfielder at Cover Lanzini.
Exactly who I would go for. My attacking midfielder would have to have ability to play slightly wider, if need be. Forever Blowing Bubbles says, should Snodgrass be given a chance?
I don't know, and I don't want to duck out the question. That really is up to Pellegrini. It's up to Snodgrass. Will get a chance if he deserves one if he performs well in training. He may well do by default if we can't buy these players. He might make it very difficult in pre-season. He might go through pre-season and score 3 or 4 goals and take all the corners and all the free kicks and that sort of thing. And then the manager thinks, I might do something. He deserves a chance to impress in pre-season, certainly. I think the whole squad, everybody, deserves a clean slate.
I agree. I mean, it's sort of. I wouldn't be disappointed if he was here when the window shuts, but I just the thing for him is his wage. To be honest with you, we can't. Snodgrass can't be on 70 grand a week or whatever it is at West Ham. He's not that good, and it just sets a bar within the squad a little bit. There'll be people started every week that's not on that wage, and I think it just tilts the balance and stuff. I would like to see him sold, but I won't be disappointed if he's here. Another one he Forever Blowing Bubbles again says, what's your 4 teams to reach the semi-finals of the World Cup?
Well, I can't think of the draw, but I don't know who's. But I certainly think we've mentioned Croatia,
England,
France,
England v Sweden.
That's anyone's. None of those are getting. Oh, right. So one of those is going through to the final. Okay.
I'll give you the fixtures. England.
Okay, let's go England. Let's go England.
I agree with that. Croatia v Russia.
Yeah, Croatia.
That's the semi-final, by the way. So that's the semi. In the other half, you've got France versus Uruguay.
France.
I'll go Uruguay. Then you've got Brazil against
Belgium.
That's it.
Brazil.
I'll go Brazil as well. I think so. We're the same. I think
Uruguay.
Uruguay will beat France. Greg Thomas says, "Do we need an attacking midfielder?" Quite a simple question. This one, I think.
Yeah, we do, Greg. We do, mate.
How many do you think we need? Do you know if we do sign Fernandes? Let's just say we sign Fernandes. Do we still need another one?
Well, if he wants to play, we're saying that system that you suggested earlier, then clearly yes. We can't. Lanzini thinks he might be back January or whatever, as we discussed last week. He might not. I think we need to, if that's the way he wants to play, we've got to at least start the season with 2 senior players in that position. And like I said, maybe a place for Nathan Holland on the bench. And of course, we've not discussed what Antonio's going to do either.
I think a loan deal would be suffice for the extra one. Mario ideally, but he's been linked with Bournemouth, to be honest. I've seen Mario being linked with Bournemouth. I did see that. We could sign him for them. I think Howe would like a player like him. Texo Wrecked Hammer says, if you had complete control of West Ham, who's the first player you would approach?
Did you say Tex Erect Hammer?
I don't know. I can't read my own writing.
It's very, very descriptive title. If that's, he's obviously very pleased, very happy to be watching the show.
He obviously believes football's coming home.
Absolutely. He might well find his sexy old droopy hammer very, very soon. What's Rectos's question?
If you were in charge of West Ham, who's the first player you would approach? Not with your
my little supercalifragilistic popping up. That's an image, isn't it? You wouldn't even need an agent, would you? Let's be fair. Who would I approach first of all? That's a tough one. Who knows? Who knows? It seems so lacking in imagination to say Jack Wilshere, but let's go with the links. Let's go with Kovacic. However you say it. Him at Real Madrid, Croatian one. Let's go for it. Have a go.
I'm sticking with Ndidi of Leicester. It's a bit unrealistic, very expensive, but this is gonna be my answer all summer when people ask these questions. Ndidi, please. Colin. Now this one's a bit of a tricky one. Allardyce or Moyes?
What's a thump?
If you had to have his manager, I assume.
I'd have Moyes. I'd have Moyes back, actually, rather than Sam. At least Moyes is a gentleman. Yeah.
I would go Allardyce. Because I just... At least with Allardyce, he gets results. Moyes didn't get results. So that's why I would go with Sam, unfortunately. KPFWT says he's away to a stag do in Croatia.
Nice.
Do you have any drinking games?
No. How boring is that? No. My mate's got one with these cards, but no one ever. We always get, by the time we get to play it, we're all too drunk. I just drink and have a jolly nice time. Croatia's a lovely country, of course. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's a boring answer. I wish I had something more interesting to say. Have you got any drinking games, Geo?
I would ban a word. I would ban a word before you go. One word, maybe 2 words, however many you want. Ban them. And every time someone says that, it's got to be a word that you say quite a lot. So for me and you, it would be the C word, because we say that quite a lot. Not so much on the camera. We behave ourselves a bit. But off camera, it's used quite a lot. So we ban that word, and every time you say one, you've got to go and you buy it yourself, by the way. They're always paying for you to get drunk. Go and get yourself a shot and do it, son, because you've said the naughty word. Now you've done a facial expression there that makes you think you've thought of one.
I have. We used when we were younger, we used to left hand. You had to drink with your left hand all night, and any time you got caught, just naturally, your weaker hand, you had to drink with your weaker hand. Anytime you got caught doing it incorrectly, you had to down the drink you had, and then buy everyone else a drink. That you did. We used to play that loads, actually. I was very good at it. That's why it doesn't stick in a memory. I see. I was so tight. That drink was staying in my left hand. Not a problem.
I would just lie. I tell everyone I'm left-handed.
These are mates from school. I don't know them. You know, it's people you know for 10, 15 years. And no, they're no, you ain't fooling anyone.
To be fair, after a couple of drinks, I think you could switch. No.
Oh, they're crafty lot. Crafty lot. Honestly, they know. You think, oh, someone he's smashed. He's had 8 sambucas. You've done that with the wrong hand. They'll even rumble you when they're absolutely wasted and with one eye shut. Swines.
To be fair, if that's the rules, well, maybe not buying everyone a drink. If it was just the downing thing, I think I'd pick it up incorrectly on purpose to be, oh, look, oh, well, guess I'm going to have to down there. Somebody, I didn't get the name, but somebody said, and I like this one, is Cullen. I can't remember what the question was, but it was about Cullen. This really has to be, Burke as well, but this has to be make or break for them. It's got to be.
Yeah, yeah, they like Cullen. You just don't know. I do like the idea of them going into training, and the report is that he's had everyone playing 1-touch or 2-touch football. And you know what? The thing is, when you do that, you find out who's got technique and who hasn't. And I just wonder if maybe someone like Cullen breezes through a training drill like that, and then some of the man thinks, hold on a second. That's somebody I can use for in my system. But we also know that he wants pace. So I do wonder where this pace is coming from. The Burke one, I don't know. As I say, maybe the managers see something like Burke can carry the ball out of defence. He might like that. He might actually turn up West Ham and think, crikey, there's 3 centre-backs there who can carry the ball out of defence.
Yeah, I'm hoping to make it. I would like to see them both. I'd keep them both involved next season. Even if they don't play much, give them a chance when you can, as long as they get some sort of chance. But in 12 months' time, they're not going to, even if they play very little next season, they're not going to be worth much, if any, less than they are now. They're not what they're worth now, a couple of £1 million each at the absolutely most. So what's the point in selling them? Just keep them, use them as the squad players, and then if they don't make it the next year, let them go next year for. To be honest, I'd let them go for free. I would, and I'd probably do this whole 50% of, if you sell the player, we get 50% of the transfer fee, whatever it is. But you know, go find a club that you want to find without any financial restrictions in your way. Clayton says, what youngsters do you think will impress Pellegrini? We said about who we want to impress Pellegrini.
Well, hello, Clayton, mate. They're one in the same. They're one in the same. I really do. I firmly believe this is Holland's breakthrough season. As I say, not for the starting in the first team, but I do think he'll like what he sees. So much of this stuff, when I was watching these clips of Felipe Anderson, I was thinking, well, you know, Nathan can do that. That's something he can certainly do. I really do think this is his breakthrough season. And I think he will be impressed because he's got really good technical ability as well. So I think that will appeal to him. Also, if he doesn't like his wide players to always go wide to cut in, the guy can do that as well. I'd just be interested to see what Geo thinks about Oxford, though, as well, because, I mean, I can see how that might appeal to him, certainly.
Yeah, I would go for Brown if he gets a chance. I don't think he went to Switzerland, which is annoying, actually. But he's got the technicality that Pellegrini likes, and we've got space in the squad right now for a player in that position. And so while I think I want Oxford to be the one that impresses him, I think Brown would be the one that would impress him. Victor Fenn says, will we do a show next season covering the West Ham ladies?
I don't know anything about him, Victor. I'm so sorry. I just don't. I really don't. Last season was the first season I really started to get into the under 23s, the development squad. Not to tell you, a bit about them. I think it's I think they're obviously going in the right direction. I mean, somebody wrote earlier, what does everyone think of the signings that the West Ham ladies have made? And I just couldn't join in because I just didn't. I didn't know. Although I do know Whitney Locke's found a new club. She's found QPR. So many of the players that we did know are just not there anymore. And this is quite all encompassing. Doing Hammers chat the way we do it anyway, without another string to our bow. But we wish them well.
Yeah, the answer is no, pretty much, because we do have someone that does go to the games, but he's not made very welcome by West Ham ladies management team. Unfortunately, if he was, it would be different. But we would have more content on West Ham ladies, but. So be it. C'est la vie. Stuff them. Unfortunately, no, honestly, because at the end of the day, when the person that we know is spent a lot of time and money covering the West Ham. He's given them as much coverage as possible over the last 3 years, and he sort of just had it thrown back in his face. So you can't just take all the time, which is what they've been trying to do. And I just find it really irritates me when they go cap in hand asking people to help and for promotions and telling everyone to come to the ground. I think, well, the ones that do want to turn up, you don't treat them very well, so why the hell should anyone else turn up and support you? There's very much similarities between the main club, if you like, and the ladies, unfortunately, by the way that they've treated our friend who's done a lot for that club.
Yeah, I'll just echo what Geo said. Just so he's not sit there saying that on his own. Yeah. Our friend spent thousands on camera equipment, which he was using for the official club magazine to go and follow them. And so it's been dropped like a lead balloon. Even went on tour when Stephen, who was the previous chairman, was manager, and he was very welcomed in. And the regime changed, and he was dropped like a stone, which is left out of pocket. Yeah, so a real shame. But there are lots of people, obviously, lots of the girls that we know who were in the team. We know a lot of them have just gone now, haven't they? Which is well, it's not a shame, but I guess they've got it's a shame personally, but I guess they've got to progress. They've got to buy new players, haven't they?
Yeah, and if someone says we've got sour taste in our mouth, they'd be correct. We do. We're loyal to our friends on this show. Flight says, why do Scottish people cheer on Sweden? Because they do. They don't want England to go through, I suppose. I'm getting a lot of stuff in here about England tonight, actually.
Oh yeah. I've not read it. I do want that other show, but when we do the cup of tea, I don't read the comments.
Yeah, people asking if I'm cheering on England, if I'm ready to cheer on England, if I will cheer on England, and I knew this was going to come. To be honest,
you've been, you've fronted up, so it's fine, You're not going to win. You're not going to win on this one. So it's
hopefully Sweden does. Harley Salami says, "Do you think former Hammer Junior Stanislas seems to be getting with age, and would you take him at West Ham?"
He was not at the front of the queue. I do think he's done well with age. Actually, I do think he'd become a really good player. He was a good player before. He's done really well, and I'm pleased for him as well. Would I take him back? No, because I think he would stunt the growth of some of the players that we've mentioned earlier, actually. But he's got good technical ability, good delivery. I like him, yeah, good player. But he's got a good club there at Bournemouth. He's got a good thing going on.
I would take him back, depending on the price fee. If it was 15 million or thereabouts, then yes, I probably would. And this probably wouldn't be overly popular. But if I had to choose between Stanislas and Shaqiri for the same price, I'd be going for Stanislas, believe it or not. One of them's a match of the day player, in my opinion, and it's not Stanislas. So I'd be going for our former Hammer. He's done really well at Bournemouth, and he's won them a lot of points. Whether it's assists or goals or whatever, he's done brilliant there. You're right. It's probably the perfect fit, unfortunately for us. It's probably the perfect fit for him being down there. But is it good enough for us long term for what we perceive to be our long term vision? Perhaps not, but he's no worse than what we've got. I mean, would you rather have Antonio or Stanislas?
Antonio.
Would you rather have Stanislas or Snodgrass?
Stanislas.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. But it just shows that where he would fit in the squad, doesn't it? That he's better than someone we do have on.
Yes, for sure.
There's the other one. But anyway, that's all. Is there anything else you would like to add?
Yes, I do. Thank you for reminding me. This is Blowing Bubbles. This is the summer annual. It's packed. How do I flick this way? It's packed full of stuff about West Ham, funny enough. www.blowing. What's that thing? blowingbubbles.co.uk. Go onto their website, have a look. You can actually go back and read previous issues. There's loads of interviews, exclusive interviews with Dix, Ashton, Macari, Dyer, Hutchison, Parks, Paris Gold. Big feature on Pellegrini. So
they've got interview with Dix in there. I didn't know they did an interview with you.
Absolutely, yeah. I'll tell you, it's not thick enough for that, my friends. But it's a thick old publication. Get on there, give it a look as well.
Oh, look, more and more Scottish and English questions. Victor asking if I think Scotland will qualify for a major tournament in my lifetime. To be honest with you, Victor, no, I do not.
But actually, Scotland. So you talk about you've got Kearney. who's a good player. Robertson is a good player. You do have surely within there the makings, because that guy McGinn, who we were linked to, who you said was a good player. Surely there's, you've got a nucleus of a team there, right?
Yeah, to be fair, we didn't have Strahan in charge until recently. I think we might have done okay. We might have qualified for something recently. But anyway, another show done. Hopefully there'll be a player to talk about when we chat next week. But I'm not gonna... Oh dear. Go tell your children we'll be back next week. It's all right. The show's only finished temporarily.
Do you know what worries me? That was actually a dog's bowl being dropped. So either one of the children has got out of bed and carrying a dog's bowl, or the dog has gained such intelligence that it's walking around and carrying its own dog's bowl as a way of hinting.
Brilliant. But anyway, thank you very much for joining on this one. If you're on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the like button. If you're on iTunes, subscribe to the feed as well. And thank you for joining us. And leave your comments down below what you think of the latest rumours. Anderson is off. Wilshere is on, at least for today. It'll probably be changed on Friday. And we'll be back very soon, keeping you up to date with the latest West Ham news. Thank you.